Welcome to Tuba Talk. We tried that many times. It finally worked. I'm Jack.
Like three times.
Well,
yeah, 3 times.
That time was kind of perfect, and I'm really happy about
third
it.
time's the charm. You got it twice right in the lens.
Yeah.
So
When you use a shotgun.
camera.
You guys are really dead. So, it's Tuba Talk, not so normal conversations, not so normal intros. It's me, Jack, joined by TJ and Landon, as always.
Howdy, welcome. So, let's kick things off with discussion today, guys. Woo. The first thing I wanted to bring up, just because I just thought of this literally minutes before we turned on the camera. Have you guys seen this Instagram trend that's going around, or I guess it's on TikTok too, probably, but where women pretend to be influencers and like they've spent like a ton of money on like products and stuff. They open their phone and they're just like, "What's up, gals? I'm back again with another tutorial. So today I'm using, the
They pretend.
Dolce and Gabbana lip balm. It's $8,000, but it's totally worth it." And their husbands are like in the background, like panicking because they think they just heard their girlfriend or their wife say that they spent $8,000 on a lip balm.
It's like it's a prank.
Yeah, it's a prank.
Okay.
It's like a prank challenge. Yeah, no, they didn't actually, but they're like because I don't know. Most men are pretty like completely oblivious to the things that the women in their lives are like
but then they'll like spend thousands of dollars on their car.
Yeah.
Oh, like
yeah.
Like, I don't know. They're like man cave.
Yeah, dropping.
Well, why wouldn't you spend that much money on a man cave?
I know. My wife asked me about it. She was just like, "What would you do if I did that?" And I just feel like I'd probably continue to be supportive. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'd probably just be like, if it was an $8,000 lip balm, it's probably worth the $8,000. I don't know.
It lasts for like 3 years.
Yeah, like,
so it's like a lifetime supply of lip balm.
I am sure there is some reason that you have. That came up the other day too. She was just like, "How come you don't stop me when I'm like doing like clearly the wrong thing?" Because she was like screwing something into the wall, and I was just like watching her.
Learning.
I was just like, "Okay, so this is how you do this." And she was just like, "Why didn't you just stop me?" I'm like, "Because sometimes there's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
And you're like doing something, and like I don't understand why you're doing it that way, but at the end I'm like, okay, no, that makes sense that she did it that way."
That's completely how my problem solving works. I can do everything the wrong way.
Yeah.
And still come out with a like complete, like relatively good product.
You're like, oh,
dude, every math problem on a test ever.
Yeah.
Still get the right answer even though you did it the wrong way.
That's actually how I like got an A in calculus. There's like this one test that was really hard, and there's like this really hard question. It was like, what is the 22nd derivative of like some like tangent equation? Now there's like a way to like do it in your head. There's like a formula that you just like plug two numbers in and you get an answer. But I was absent for a month of school that year, so I missed like all the shortcuts that the teacher taught. I just had all the notes, so I did 22 derivatives by hand, and then I got the answer. And there's like 3 people in my class, so like the other guy who was like next to me like was looking at me like doing like all the derivatives. He's like, "What?"
Oh no!
Like, and then the teacher was like, "You did this like." You like used like the wrong formula while you were doing this by hand, and you still got the right answer.
I love it.
If it works,
it makes me so happy.
It works.
Because there's like that like from like Incredibles 2, Mr. Incredible's like math is math, but like math isn't math. Math is relative.
Yeah, that is very true.
There's many ways to get to the same solution. That is for sure.
The amount of times that I've just done something, my teacher's like, "What are you doing?"
How did you do this?
It's a bit harder in like English because there's grammar.
Yeah. Right. But even
in English, you can totally kind of just BS your way through it.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I do.
English is one of those languages that Actually, I was talking to your mom, Jack, about this. I was like, you can just add things into the English language, and it's pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we can say like, oh, I'll Google that, and that like means something now, whereas like 20 years ago that meant absolutely nothing. It was just gibberish.
Yeah.
You're
It's like
you'll really big number that? Like, what is
yeah,
that?
yeah, like it's kind of cool that we can just be like, yep, we're adios, partner, and like, yep, that is still English somehow. It's like not English, but it's still like usable language in society, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So, what's going on in technology that's exciting, you guys? Landon, I know you ordered a 3D printer.
My 3D printer is on a UPS truck, driving around Jacksonville, waiting to be delivered to my doorstep today. It's gonna be livered. They're gonna like
liver it.
It's packaged in a liver, and I'm gonna have to deliver it.
Wow.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody, nobody can laugh at my joke.
Well, it's because I'd already
Nobody
been
here.
thinking about that for like a solid 10 seconds. So
Okay.
like the humor had died down in my
Yeah,
head.
he's like, yeah, this joke is dumb. I'm not gonna say it, and I'm already like through the third
He's already
punchline.
in like the lore of it.
Yeah.
It's just-
You must need to work at FedEx to get that one, huh, fellas?
But yeah, it'll be on the doorstep when I get home from work.
Sweet.
I went. So it's a resin printer.
Resin.
So
The nice kind.
Yeah.
yes, out of the people I know that do watch this, they're not very like, they don't know a lot about 3D printing. So I'll explain.
Oh, yeah.
I can
The one person I know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can take up some airtime and explain the
I
different
think.
Okay,
methods of 3D printing.
extrusion and
Yeah. So
resin.
the most common version of a 3D printer and the most like recognizable like technology of a 3D printer in like television you'll see is Star Trek, like the replicators. Like boom, light, and then there's a cup of coffee. Now it doesn't work
That'd
like
be
that
cool.
yet, but the most developed and easiest way of 3D printing now is through, you have a spool of like plastic, and then the spool of plastic feeds into a hot metal like hose basically.
No, so like a hot glue gun.
Yeah.
So it's like
plastic
it's
hot glue gun.
it's plastic hot glue, and then on the build plate it extrudes the plastic and it just draws layers. So if it was drawing like a lightsaber, it would just draw like circles all the way up, and then boom, you'd have like a plastic lightsaber all stuck together. But and that's extrusion, or I think FDM is the
Right. Because it fills in the material.
yeah. And then the one I have though is a DLPA, which is, it just means that instead of extruding, there's a vat of like resin.
Liquid.
Yeah, it's all liquid.
Okay.
And the resin gets cured by UV light.
Yeah,
So it's
you
like when
zap
you
it with
go.
So it's like the dentist.
Yeah, it's like when you go to the dentist and they're putting on your braces and
Yeah.
they put the glue on, and then they have the like little orange thing that looks like it's gonna like squirt water at you, but it's purple light. So it has a screen that shows UV light in the different layers. So instead of drawing each layer, it shows each layer at once, and then it'll pull the object out of the resin, which is really cool. It looks really cool too.
Very cool.
But this allows it to be like
And it
very accurate.
displaces the liquid by curing the resin with
Yes.
UV light, which is really awesome. There's also a third way that is not used by most people.
Is that the additive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so then there's
So additive is it's a metal plate, again, is the build plate, and they throw a bunch of metal dust or whatever material they're using. They throw dust.
Typically, it's metal.
Yeah.
You can use other starches and plastics too.
Yeah.
But
And then a laser will draw the layer
wham.
and harden that, and then it throws more dust on, and it throws another layer and more dust layer. And that's like for like aircraft parts.
Yeah.
They use the
Typically for like
bearing assemblies for like the new Boeing jets.
really, really high detailed manufacturing is typically where you see
and
things like that.
And methods of manufacturing that cannot normally be done.
Yeah, because you can basically make internal and external parts simultaneously.
Yeah, so like if I want to make like
a tuba,
but I want to make the tuba so that like the valves are in place.
Yeah.
When I make it.
Oh.
And I don't have to put the valves in, and it like.
And the spring.
And like there's like a hole for valve oil, but it like interacts in such a way that you wouldn't be able to fit it together. It can print the valves and the tuba together.
Yep.
That's cool.
So it allows for a popular like thing that you can build in the normal FDM printing is just it's an octopus where the legs are hinges, and the hinges just turn automatically because the way that it's printed, it would be like horrible to assemble by hand. There's all these tiny little hinges, and you got to feed through like the knobs, but in this it prints the hinges together, so then you don't need to like put in a pin, and you don't need to put the hinges together, and it just is an auto hinge basically.
Yeah. For sure. So that's 3D printing 101.
More like 100.5. 100.5. All the acronyms were probably wrong, but
likely. But no worries. The fact is that you're getting a cool resin printer, and it'll mean that you can print a lot faster because it's one of the fastest ways to print.
Yes, more detailed.
Resin. And more detail. And it was
Less
only
sanding,
like what,
probably.
a couple $100, right?
Yeah, it was $200.
Woo! Man, I should get me one.
The exponential like development of technology is really cool because I've been looking at 3D printers for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
And back when I looked 2 years ago, a normal like extrusion printer, like at the cheapest one was $600.
Yeah, that's why
And then I
Jackson got
looked
his.
a few months later, and the cheapest extrusion printer was $300, but it wasn't very good. And then last year, I looked at resin because I was like, I'm gonna get resin. I built a extrusion printer for my engineering teacher. Those things are horrible to like put together and maintain because you got to make sure it's perfectly level, and it has to. There's so many moving parts.
And it takes so long.
Right? Yes. Yeah. I spent like.
They're kind of boring.
I worked on it like in class, and I worked on it during lunch, and I worked on it like after school sometimes. It probably took me like 20 hours to build like a tiny little printer that like only worked half the time.
Yeah.
But so resin, so I was like, okay, I'm going to get resin. It's only one moving part. It only goes up and down. That's all you need. And I looked last year, and it was like the cheapest resin printer is $500, but it's not good. The cheapest good one is like $1,000 still. I look a couple weeks ago because I'm like, okay, I'm going to be stuck here for the fall, right?
Yeah.
I'm working on a project that requires me to 3D print something for prototyping. And I'm like, okay, I'll look at resin printers. Come to find out, there's a great resin printer that everybody loves, just came out, $300 when it came out in March.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, I have $300 to burn or whatever, I guess. And I checked last week to buy it, and it's on sale for $200.
So you're just like,
alrighty,
I'm buying
That's
this.
a steal.
Grabbing this. Watch it
Right.
like comes, it's like the wish.com. It's like 2 inches tall.
Oh,
Like
no.
this is a model of a 3D printer.
This
That
is
would
a
be
3D
rough.
printed model.
the
of a
wish
3D
the
printer.
wish scams, man. Those things are, they got a good
Good system going on.
Good
It's still
system.
going.
No, I've never ordered anything from Wish, but I have friends that have been actually pretty satisfied. They say that, like, if you want like textiles and you want like cheap things,
Yeah.
like if you want like MC Hammer pizza pants, like MC Hammer pants with a pizza print on
Yeah,
them,
parachute
they're just
pants.
like, yo, Wish has you covered. Like
Okay.
they,
I know where
like
I'm
they
doing
will
all of my
actually
clothes
deliver
shopping.
that for $5.
I know where I'm getting my new style.
But like other things, yeah, like a 3D printer, or like I've friends that have tried to buy like game remotes and stuff like that, and they're just like, no, like they shipped it to me, and it was literally like a piggy bank shaped like a remote controller with
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
slot in it. It's like made out of aluminum. You're just like, oh, it's a PS4 controller piggy bank. Like,
Yeah, they don't put that on their website.
yeah.
Or they
so-
like put it
That's
in like
brutal.
they put it in like white text.
She was like, "What?
So you can't
$15?
read it?
Can't read
You're
it.
like $15 for a remote
That's
control. It's
brutal.
such a great deal. They're normally like
Wow, what a
60.
steal.
And then-
I
yeah,
saw
it shows up.
that's like when you're like writing an essay and you need like 2 more words. So you just put like AA in like white at the end. But that doesn't catch them anymore because they highlight the whole thing to see if you've added white text.
What?
Really?
Oh, dude. Okay, wait.
If they're like super nitpicky, they'll do it. Otherwise, they probably don't care.
If
brutal.
if anyone I went to school with is watching, please don't take away my degree. But there's
You know
always
what?
changing. There's always changing like the point size on like the punctuation.
Oh,
That's one that I've
for
done
page
before.
counts.
Yeah, if you have to get to a certain page number. So especially like the longer it is, the better. You can like
Yeah.
turn like a 5-page paper into like a 7-page paper if you just like really up the size on the punctuation.
But the punctuation does get bigger though, so it's pretty noticeable.
Well, it's not if you do it like across the whole paper. It's
you-
hard. It's hard to tell
From
that-
like 12 point to 13 point. on
from like 12 point to like 18 point.
Oh,
It's
okay,
not,
that
It's
much.
not
Whoa.
actually that much of a difference, but the spacing in between
Okay.
the characters is actually where you
I saw-
gain the.
Somebody made a font called New Times New Roman.
New Times New Roman.
And it's Times New Roman, but its kerning is set so that the kerning is 10% wider
Nice.
and the actual letters are 5% wider.
Got it. So,
So,
it like visually looks.
If you see it by
very similar.
itself, you think, oh, that's Times New Roman. But if you put it next to Times New Roman,
You're just like,
it's
why is it so big?
It's way longer, and you don't know why until like you zoom in and you see that it's wider. So
Like, all the spacing is different.
Classic.
Uh,
I won't
yeah.
do that.
Just throwing it out there,
But-
any high school
If-
kids.
Yeah, definitely in high school.
Like me.
If you have an essay about like Francis
Coming
Ford
up.
Coppola or something that you don't want to write, you can just
Yeah.
get New Times New Roman.
New.
The new.
The new.
I couldn't remember what Times New Roman was called for a second because
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I remember there's like something weird. There's like
What's the
2
one-
news. So is it like New Times No, Times New Roman. There it is.
New Times Roman New.
Yeah.
I have used Newton for like the last
Newton?
8 years. Yeah, I like it instead of
Yeah.
Times New Roman.
I noticed. Okay.
I've never had any teacher
You guys
complain
don't use
either.
Comic Sans?
Y'all don't use Comic Sans?
There's this one oh my gosh. Okay. Chainsaw
Arial.
companies.
Yeah.
Chainsaw companies and like metalware companies,
Mhm.
like selling metal sheets, are very guilty of using Comic Sans on their warning labels.
Oh, interesting.
I've noticed this because at FedEx, will like a chainsaw will come by, and there will be a picture of the chainsaw on the box, but then it'll be like, "Warning: sharp instrument in Comic Sans."
And you're just like,
How am I
what
supposed
is
to take
this?
this seriously
Yeah.
when it's in Comic Sans?
Yeah.
They did a study. Who was it? I should look it up before I speak wildly out of turn. But there was a study done on like who is
I'll
more
cheat it.
likely to use Comic Sans, and like science and design or engineer departments were the ones like across several
Really?
universities that were more likely to use Comic Sans
Yes,
because they like legitimately think it's funny. They're just like, look at. It's so informal. It's so funny.
They think it's funny.
Yeah, like
That's why they do it?
Like it's actually comical to them because it's like the informal like typeface. So
Okay,
they're
I
like,
thought it was because like engineering and architecture people, they just like their handwritten fonts.
Yeah, no, it's like just because like they like the idea of it not being a formal thing.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
engineering is not formal.
Well, that's the thing. It's like so much of like what they do in science and engineering is so formal that they're just like,
That's
ha ha
true.
ha, look,
Like finally something.
I get to use the funny font, and you're just like, it's like,
Dude, that's actually high schoolers.
whereas like graphic designers and stuff are just like, no, it's awful.
Yeah.
It's like-
High schoolers at this point memorize what Comic Sans looks like just so that they can use it and then laugh with their friends.
like, ha ha.
Like, look at me using Comic Sans. Aren't I the comedian?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so funny. I use
Guys,
Comic
laugh
Sans.
with me.
The teacher said Times New Roman only, but I'm like, Comic Sans question mark?
The one thing I found is in high school they teach you MLA
Yeah.
or like whatever your high school
I don't know,
teaches.
yeah,
MLA.
PLA, Chicago.
MLA.
There's so many
Yeah, but
stylings.
they're like, you're gonna need this.
Yeah,
You're gonna need this in your life.
this is gonna be.
And then you get to like
important.
college, and they're like, oh, can you turn in like 1,000-word like essay tomorrow? And you're like, what format do you want to use? They're like, oh, just make it readable.
Yeah, make it legible.
Make it
Don't-
readable. And I'm like, okay, so like any font is gonna be readable.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
Or
any
it's like-
font that's built to be readable.
Yeah, and it does depend on the college. 'Cause I know Westmont, for like when they actually require a format, they do Chicago.
Chicago, yeah, Chicago,
Chicago.
Chicago styling.
Yeah, which I haven't studied the different
Dude,
formats.
Chicago's actually my favorite just because of the way that they do footnotes. Like,
Is it footnote based
yeah,
for citations?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's just like, oh, it's so much
That's way
easier
better.
just to put like a little one, and then at the bottom of the page, it's just like, here's my source, and I don't have to make it a separate source site. I
I
don't have to
hate-
put the source in like
There's no works cited?
parentheses. Yeah, no,
That
it's like
That's
it's all
so much
on
easier.
the page.
Okay,
basically.
Chicago.
Like, let's do this.
Chicago out here
Yeah.
with the more practical design.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I hate works
'Cause-
cited and I hate parenthetical citations because they always change
Yeah.
and it's never
No,
because
no
it's
one
like
has the same idea.
it's
about
always
how
like use
supposed
the
to be
last
done.
name of the author and then the page number, and then it's like,
Yeah.
well, my source has like 4 authors, or it's like this author has the same last
Yeah,
name as
you're
the
like
next author.
looking up
And then
the
they're just like,
rules.
oh, it's fine. You don't have to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, then what's the point in doing it in the first place? If there's
Well,
an exception.
Yeah.
Like, just take it away. Or some people will be like, no, there also needs to be the paragraph number.
The paragraph number.
Yeah, because if it's a reference from a book, sometimes it'll be like paragraph number and page number.
When I was writing, I wrote play reviews for a lot of my like essays last year, and it was you would put the line number, right?
Whoa.
Not like the page. It would be like, well, it would be the page,
Yeah.
but you would put the line number of the play because it'd be like,
Yeah.
because they're all
Oh,
numbered
yeah,
anyways, and it makes it way easier to find than being like, okay, it's like page 40, but like he has like 20 lines on here. What line is it? It's just like, okay, page 40, line 5.
Yo, do you guys know how difficult it was for me to like sort source YouTube videos for like my senior project
Oh.
and stuff, like before there were any rules on like how to actually
You can
cite
s-
something like that?
You can
Are
source
there rules?
videos.
Yeah, dude. Of
Yeah,
course.
there's
I mean, you
citation
can
rules.
cite- I didn't know that there were rules. I
There's
thought it was the
there's
exact
rules for
same.
them now. They were not like back when I was in high
Really?
school.
Because
Yeah.
It
I
was not a
cited
thing.
a ton of videos, and I think my teacher was kind of just cite it like you'd normally cite it.
They
Like
were
a book or
they were
something?
still developing like website citation format.
Yeah,
As I was
Yeah.
like, I think the most stable they've had it is like my last 2 years of high school. The format didn't change.
You like had to like put like what date the web page that you're looking at was published and
And
stuff.
then the last date it was updated, and then like the last date that like, and then the date
Date it was viewed.
the date you viewed it, and like who wrote it, what website it was on.
So good.
Yeah,
Sorry.
TJ.
Looking at design stuff. My bad.
I was like,
Gosh, dude, what
I was
the
like, is
heck?
that video formatting?
Are those porcelain?
Yeah.
What are these? I can't see.
They're
Uh,
crushed cans,
here.
but they look like,
Yeah,
your
a s-
typical teacups.
Porcelain crushed cans in the style of 16th century Chinese pottery.
Chinese
Yeah.
China.
I said pottery.
I know, but I said Chinese.
Chinese
like-
China.
I feel like Indiana Jones.
You know, like
Senior.
the blue
would hate
the
me for
blue
that?
Oh, he's
stained China sets.
14th century Ming Dynasty. Oh look, it's a
But
fake.
it's crushed
Oh, look,
cans
it's
instead.
How much are they?
Yeah.
I mean, that looks,
I have no clue.
Or are they just art? Is it like
That's pretty cool.
Is it like a metaphor for climate change?
No,
really
I
hope
don't.
not.
I don't. It's drinking tea series is what it's
Oh,
called.
it's like Arizona tea.
Yeah, they're like Arizona tea cans, but now like how most people in 5T.
Arizona tea is great. It just has too much sugar.
Really?
And
I think peace tea has
my
some
opinion.
sugar.
Lee Yu
That's
is
my
the artist.
opinion.
if you
Most
wanna look it
canned
up.
tea.
Oh, yeah.
Most canned tea is just like most canned beverages.
For me, Arizona's the only canned tea I can drink because I feel like it's the least sweet out of all of them.
It is
It's
not
the
very
most-
sweet. Yeah.
It's the most tea flavor. Like, you still get the herbal
Yeah.
tea feeling and flavor in like their sweet tea. Whereas with peace tea, it's like, no, this is sugar water.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh man,
What
I can't do
Like,
peace
gives
tea.
me a headache.
the tea that's like still tea that I like is Starbucks tea. Like their flavored
They
teas
do really good tea.
and like their milk teas are very good.
Yeah. If I want to like tea from a place like that, then definitely Starbucks.
I'm not a
Or-
huge tea buff. I feel like it'd be fun to be a tea buff, but there's
It's-
just so many types of leaves
Yeah,
and so many different ways to make leaf water.
I got
Yeah.
really into
so,
it in
so many ways
college.
to make British coffee. Like,
It's
what
like-
the heck?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have a
British
friend
tea.
who has like 50 types of teas in
Yeah.
their
Keenan-
dorm room, and I'm
Keenan's
like,
still really
okay, I
into
don't.
it. But
Really?
him and I used to talk a lot about it.
Yeah,
So for a while, I was like a apprentice tea buff, I guess, type thing. Like, I don't know a ton,
Tea connoisseur.
but
if you will.
I can hang with them. I drink tea a lot. I know a lot of differences in teas. And
You can taste the differences. in
Oh,
I
some
mean,
teas,
like,
that's for sure.
it's a huge difference.
There's
Like an
this-
African black tea
Oh.
compared to like a European black tea, there's a difference.
I
You
had-
can taste it.
I like binged on myself, and I bought like this expensive tea from the local grocery store
Yeah.
next to my college, and it was like $8 for like 10 bags, but it was like this African rooibos,
Ooh, yeah.
and it was like African rooibos with like it had like it wasn't like powder in a tea bag. It was like you could actually tell what the stuff was, which was really cool. So it was like leaves and sticks and stuff. There's a little cinnamon twig, and then there was like half an orange peel.
Ooh.
And it was like the best tea I've ever had. It was so smooth. It
You
had
guys-
like the right hint of flavors.
You pay
You
pay
guys
for what you
do
get. You get what you pay for, I
Pre-bagged
suppose.
or free leaf?
I like loose leaf tea is preferable to me. Like I feel like some of the best teas that I've had have been loose leaf, but I'll do pre-bag. I mean that's what I do most
Yeah,
often.
if it's
mean,
is the
store bought,
pre-bag
I
stuff.
do like pre-bagged, but
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I would take pre-bagged is because it's got like a consistent blend to it.
yeah,
It
And
does.
so if
It's-
I want something where like I like something but it has a little too much of this and I want to bring this part that I like more out, I just get more of that part of it with the free
Yeah.
leaf, whereas you can't really do that. I mean, unless you want to cut open the bags, I guess you could.
the
You
only
could.
time I've done free leaf is when I've grown the ingredients I put in the tea.
Ooh,
So,
like mint.
yeah, we grow mint, and we used to have like a huge batch of chamomile flowers.
I say that, yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
minted chamomile grow really well here in the Rogue Valley. It's
Yeah.
like
So,
super easy to get.
I would, spend a few hours picking like hundreds of chamomile flowers and then bag them up. And then we had this like fancy like loose leaf thing where it's like a little water jug, and you put the hot water in and you put all the loose leaf stuff in, and then you have a mug and you like put it on the mug, and it like activates a spring that starts letting the water out of the thing, and it strains through all the loose leaf and then goes into your mug. It was really cool. And we do that for chamomile.
Yeah.
Jack, anything in technology exciting you this week? Are we still on this segment? I think so.
I think that's where we were last. I have not personally heard any new developments and stuff. However, I mean personal developments. I'm getting my laptop, of course.
Yes, tell us the specs.
So, I cannot tell you the exact specs as right now. All I can tell you that is it's going to be 2070 RTX. I think it's going to have
2070?
I think so.
Nice.
I'm not doing 2080 because that's like an extra $400.
It's $400 for like 2 more gigs of VRAM.
Yeah. So, and then I think it's gonna have a terabyte of storage.
SSD or hard drive?
SSD.
Nice.
And then I think it's QLED display.
Okay.
I think.
Is it HDR?
It's here. TJ's pulling some stuff up right now.
You don't have them memorized?
It's how could you? It's the Alienware Area 51 17-inch. With like 270 RTX and
17 inches good. I have.
This is 15, isn't it?
I think this is.
Or no, this is less than 15.
This is 13.
Yeah, because I mean, the main reason I'm getting it is for gaming and such.
But school, right?
School and gaming.
Yeah, it'll be good
both.
for school.
So I no longer have to pay for subscription stuff.
Yeah.
To play online. I also have a far wider selection. And it also covers all my work stuff. It like puts everything I need in one thing that I can take with me.
Yeah, laptop is like a must-have for college nowadays. Yeah. My roommate didn't have a laptop last year.
Oof.
So yeah,
he had an iPad, but it was like this really old iPad that could only run like YouTube.
Yeah. Wait. So do you mind if I?
Yeah. Go ahead and surf around.
So it was.
I'm interested to know, legitimately. Yeah, I didn't have a laptop for like the first 4 years I was in college, which was fine. For that era,
you could get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember. So have we talked about this on Tuba Talk, or we were just talking about this some other time? But I remember getting Twitter. Because one of my professors at Biola was just like, hey, we're going to do attendance on Twitter. I will ask you a question in class, and I want you guys to all tweet me the answer. And, that's how I will know whether or not you were here. Little did he know that, hey, you can see all your classmates tweeting your professor the answer to the question, so you just can tweet that answer to him as
nice.
Well.
That's great.
Not... 30 seconds behind if you're at a distance, I guess. But so yeah, it was not necessarily a requirement. None of my professors were just like, everyone get out your laptops, we're gonna look up this real quick or anything like that. And just taking notes by hand. The old stone tablet and chisel.
Yeah, pull out your abacus real quick.
Yeah, so let's see.
Tell us the specs.
So it's got NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti 6GB GDDR6.
Okay, that's perfect for 1080p.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But you can go up to a 2070.
Yeah.
2070 Super. Okay.
Yeah. It was. Which one did we do?
1 terabyte.
Yeah, I think it was 1 terabyte.
M.2 SSD.
There you go. I just got an M.2 drive. Those things are awesome.
You gonna have a second set of?
Yeah, you can
hard
have
drives?
a second, but I think we went against having a second set.
Yeah, 1 terabyte's fine for a laptop.
And then I don't think we did Raid Plus.
Yeah, you're not doing Raid 0 for your.
And then here, you had either Dark Side or Lunar Light, which is
Dark Side of the Moon.
The color gamut.
Is that the Pink Floyd album?
Yeah, there's a Pink Floyd album called Dark Side of the Moon, but it's also a physical place. It's the side of the moon that we never get to see.
Yeah.
It's the one where the aliens are.
Yeah, because in case you didn't know, fun fact, the moon is in geosynchronous orbit with the Earth, and so we only actually get to see one face of the moon because it's always pointed towards Earth, no matter.
What is the purpose of that, do you think?
What is the purpose of that?
Yeah,
or
why do you
think
think God was just like,
was just like,
you're not going to be able to see the other side of the moon?
Like, I don't want you guys getting too confused about what's going on up here, so you only get to see the one side.
Yeah.
Okay? It'll just always point towards you. I think it has to do with how the moon was formed. I think because it's formed from Earth, that it was easiest for it to, its axis of rotation basically it matches ours so perfectly that it just
that splits off. It's just floating around.
Another fun fact: it's actually the only moon that we know of in our solar system that does that. It's like a
funny Earth. Why does Earth have to be special?
Yeah, it's
Earth is always special.
See, and all this specialness just means that we're confused about how everything else works. We're just like, wait. Why does Phobos not just point towards Saturn all the time? I don't get it.
It's a potato moon.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not a sphere like our moon. It's a jaggedy rock out in space.
But so basically for $2,100,
Cha-cha.
I get basically a pretty specced out gaming PC that I can take anywhere with me.
You can run all your flight simulations on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think they're going to make you use Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020?
That
for your classes
would be really cool. Here's the thing. If they hooked that game up to the flight simulators they already have.
Yeah.
Because, they have...
a full cockpit.
I'm pretty sure you can do that.
Yeah. At the college I plan to go to, they have these... custom-made simulators given to them by this company called Archer, which is also the company that supplied the planes we have. So the simulators have the exact same cockpit as the actual plane you're going to fly. The only difference is that it has no wings and no tail, no actual propeller, none of that.
Well, it's a simulator, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a simulator. It just has
but all of the controls are the same.
To here.
Everything internally is where it would be internally on the real plane.
The exact same.
That's cool.
Yeah. So if they just use normal projectors. It's not super high quality image wise. The main point of it is just so that you can see where everything is and know what to do in certain situations before you get into an actual plane. When I went in there for a week, or when I went to the college for a week, I literally sat in the simulator for 30 minutes, and then I flew.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I did an hour-long night flight. I flew a total of 8 hours. Flying is way easier. I don't get why pilots get paid so much.
Because it's you're dealing with
it's a lot of responsibility.
It's a lot of responsibility. I can get that.
People's lives and
it's a $1 million machine,
but
Jack.
You make a lot of money off of sitting in front of a control panel for a couple of hours. If you don't enjoy flying, it is an extremely painfully boring task.
Oh, yeah.
I like looking at little dials. I like feeling like I'm on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Anything that makes me feel like that is instantly
for me. I just like the new vantage point for me. I just like looking down and being like, this stuff is cool.
Yeah.
And then also being Captain.
Captain.
Yeah.
I'm giving it all
Turning on
she's-
the autopilot,
I'm
Captain.
giving it all she's got, Captain.
Landon, do you like flying? Are you okay with flying?
I've done a lot of flying. I like flying. Airports are kind of stressful just because it's an
Yeah.
airport.
Oh,
There's a lot of
man.
timing issues.
TSA. Don't get me started.
But,
Bro.
you know, getting on a plane and sitting there for like 3 hours and then going like 600 miles is awesome.
Bro.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
My
Bet-
uncle has his pilot's license. I would, if I have like magically a bunch of money and time, I would like to get my like pilot's
Yeah.
license.
It does take a lot of time.
And a lot of money.
So
You need 1,500 hours
Yeah.
in control of a plane.
yeah, so that's like it's like a driver's license, but unobtainable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think in Oregon, it's 100 hours to get your driver's license for
Yeah.
the learner's permit.
Well,
Yeah.
except for they don't even check that.
yeah.
I got
Yeah, they
like,
just ask your parents, hey, he drive for 100 hours? You're like, yep. It's like, cool.
Like legally, you
Yeah.
are mandated to keep a flight log.
yeah.
yeah,
and they
there's
will
no faking that.
Yeah. So it's like you can't. There's no way to try and get out of that. But dude, okay, when I went there, the getting there was the most difficult task like ever. So
Driving to North Dakota.
no,
Yeah.
we didn't drive. So
Yeah.
we were
Oh, you
supposed to
flew.
fly.
Okay.
So what happened was we drove from Medford to Portland. We were gonna hop a flight from Portland to Minneapolis
Okay.
and take a flight from Minneapolis to Grand Forks, where this college is located. And the reason why we had to fly hop was because Grand Forks. I mean, the college owns the airport there.
Yeah.
Like, there's only 2 gates for public use at that airport,
Okay.
and they own 2/3 of it.
Okay.
So they have their own call system out there. Like, usually you have to say, like, November Delta 769er or November. But out there they just say Sioux 69er.
Okay.
And because the Sioux is the name of their mascot. Not anymore because they got sued by the Sioux. Not even
I'm not allowed to laugh at that joke.
I am also not. No, I am.
But
Well, it's a pun. I can laugh at a pun.
But so we did that, but then because of weather problems, our flight got canceled in Portland.
Okay.
Oof.
The only available flight that we could make was in Seattle. So then
Did you
and
drive
that
to
was
Seattle?
Yeah, so and that flight was at 3 the next morning,
Oh boy.
wow.
and it was already 9 o'clock.
Oh.
So
Book
we
it.
ran out and jumped in the car, drove there, slept for 2 hours in a hotel, woke up, got on our plane. The plane broke down.
Good old Seattle.
For 2 hours, they were trying to fix it. By the time we left and got to the next airport, we missed our next flight by 3 minutes.
3
Ah.
home for real.
So we had to rent a car.
Your family loves you,
But
man.
the thing
I'd be like,
is-
sorry, kid, you're not going.
Well, I mean, we had already paid like
I know.
$1,800 for this.
yeah.
Because like my parents really want to know, like, if you want to do this flight school thing,
Yeah.
we need to know if you actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
because some people get up there and they're like, this is not exactly
it's like,
what I thought. It was.
this is
Ew,
way too
planes.
scary.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be all haha plane go brrr, and
Plane
it's
go
like
brrr.
flip switch.
Yeah, no. So, but the thing is because Grand Forks is so small, there are no rental cars there.
Oh.
So we couldn't rent a rental car and drive it there, and then have my mom, drive back.
Yeah. I got you.
So we had to get a one way, and we had to fight for it, and we eventually got it. And I ended up getting there 30 minutes later than everyone else.
Jeez.
But I got there. But it was
A one-way rental car.
yeah.
Okay.
So we left it at Grand Forks,
And they
for
come and pick
whenever-
it up.
Yeah, they either come and pick it up or somebody drives it back.
Oh, that's
From
nice.
there.
Yeah, but they just couldn't do it for some reason, and
They were feeling extra sassy that day.
Oh yeah, dude, my grandpa had a fit about it on Delta because it was with Delta Airlines, which
Yeah.
after the experience, the people flying the planes and, you know, the flight attendants and stuff. Delta has amazing flight attendants.
Yeah.
They are super nice people.
Well trained,
Yeah,
nice people.
And the pilots are super kind people, and like Delta just has good people. I don't think that they have the greatest system that they have to operate with.
Yeah.
Like their planes out of all the other airlines break down the most. They kind of get strong-armed by their system a lot,
Okay.
but the people are super amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle is also notorious for
yeah.
canceling and shutting down flights. My brother got stuck there last summer.
Yeah.
I got stuck there in the fall. And then now you got stuck there.
No.
That was over a year ago now.
Really?
Yeah, that was the second week of July.
Let's see. What is today? Today's the 20th. I started freshman orientation on the 22nd
So 2
of
days
August
away from
last year. So right now, last year I was in. It was Tuesday, so I was in Santa Cruz. Because
Cool.
we left on Monday. We drove down to Santa Cruz for a couple days, and then we drove to Santa Barbara
Yeah.
for a couple days, and then moved me in.
Wow.
So
I'm really
I
excited
think
for
I'm
college.
I'm not. Are you actually going?
I will be going next year.
Like, hopefully.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, are you a senior right now?
Yeah, this will be my senior year.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still in high school. I'm a young.
young blood.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But yeah, so when I go to college, I plan on going to that college because I made a lot of friends there. It's super beautiful, my kind of weather. It's
Snowy?
Oh yeah, it got to negative 46, I think.
I miss
Oof.
snow. It didn't snow this winter.
Did it?
No.
It did in Ashland. I
Well-
don't know about y'all.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Living in Ashland since last.
I think we had one time where it snowed, but it melted in like 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it snowed. Dude, last year though there was
the snow apocalypse.
Yeah, there in wow, I cannot remember where Oregon State is located.
Corvallis.
There was like 12 inches of snow, I think.
I like that. I think it was my sophomore year of high school.
oh my
was
gosh.
the last time we had like a foot here.
When it happened, I was at the state tournament for DECA in Portland.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
And even though there was 4 inches of snow at South, way more than what they usually cancel at. Usually if it's gets at like 3 inches or something, they'll cancel, especially if the roads are icy. They didn't cancel it.
Usually
At
what?
Portland?
We weren't allowed to not leave. We had to drive through Corvallis and all that to get home. So we had to take a bus
Yeah.
through all of the feet of snow.
Oh wow!
Because our school didn't cancel.
What a
Goodness gracious.
responsible
And
decision on their part.
The only way we're not allowed, or the only way we were allowed to stay another night is if they canceled.
Yeah, that's so.
So we,
wacky.
and we almost drifted off the road a couple of times.
Yeah, you can feel.
Thankfully,
a bus is
had-
not meant for all terrain.
We
like
had
that.
my man Mario.
Mario,
Who
is he the driver?
Dude, buses are only able to go 60 miles an hour. He could take it 70.
On an icy road?
Yeah, he's
Oh, boy.
he has a power over the bus.
He has a nitro button.
Literally, he got us to Portland in 4 hours in one of those things.
In a bus?
Yeah, we were dude, Mario, chill.
It takes
I mean, we love it because that means we leave at a time to get there in 5 hours, but we get there an hour early, so we get to do more stuff.
Yeah.
But it's dude,
My soccer
Mario.
bus driver, we had 3 bus drivers for when I did soccer that would rotate, and all 3 of them could book it in a bus. But then track, when I did track, they were always late. They must have just driven slow.
Yeah, they're yeah, it's the track kids.
Aw, track kids. So many kids.
So,
Track,
what it
where
was.
half the school does your sport.
half
Yeah.
is
Track where no one can really get cut.
Yeah, I think it's because sports.
No one
You
can
would
get
think that
cut
like
unless you're missing a lung.
at my high school, at Cascade, there was a minority, like a severe minority of people who didn't do any sports.
yeah.
Like severe. Because even like the really nerdy kids did bowling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know them.
Yeah. Jack
That's-
also participates in bowling.
Yes, I know you bowl, but
It is a very fun sport.
yeah,
It is, yeah.
I mean, you're just chilling with the boys, throwing a ball at some pins
Is
and
it
getting your
is it
anger.
really a
Like, it's-
sport though?
By Google definition, yes.
is cheerleading a sport?
Well, here's the thing.
By Google definition, yes.
Competitive cheerleading is a sport.
Cheerleading.
Cheering on the sidelines is not a sport.
Any form of competition that has either a score system or a judge system,
Yeah, but
where a clear winner can be determined, is considered a sport.
however, okay, that might be true, but like
It does not even have
you
to
can
be
you can
between
smoke
two
and
people.
drink while you golf and bowl. Like this, are you
Yeah.
still
You can smoke and drink during
How-
football.
active?
But it does make you worse.
Yeah, but I don't know if smoking and drinking makes you worse at bowling.
The maybe drinking does.
I bet.
Possibly.
Also depends on
I
what
mean,
you're smoking.
drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and golfing too. Like, you'd be surprised if you're walking the course.
I'm not saying
smoking
Tiger
will kill
Woods
you.
is out there smoking and
Yeah.
drinking while he's playing.
He's got like his
he's out
cigar
there with-
coming out of
he's
his
out there
mouth.
with a backwood in his mouth, and
But,
he's
like,
just like, hey.
It doesn't seem to hinder you that much.
Yeah.
Is that your definition, TJ?
If you already partake in those things.
If smoking and drinking can hinder you, then it's
Like-
then
You
it's a
can-
sport.
Yeah, like imagine Michael Phelps trying to like compete in swimming while also still drinking and smoking like simultaneously.
That's so funny.
Well, I
It
bet
would-
he ingests quite a bit of pool water.
Yeah,
No,
that would not
they'd make the
be-
pool out of vodka.
or competitive
Alright.
bike racing or anything, just thinking like, if
Like
I had a glass and a cigar in my hand right now, how much worse would I be at this sport?
Oh yeah, because bowling you can keep the cigar like up here
And
while you have it in the bowl.
I have seen
you
people
do
do
that?
it.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, you
Oh
have?
yeah.
I couldn't do that. I would drop it probably on the floor.
I mean,
I
I'm not suggesting that anyone goes out and smokes and drinks while they participate in sports. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, there needs to be a threshold somewhere about what constitutes this. Like, is this
As
a
a
sport? Is it like really how tough is the competition?
Well, I
here?
mean, like, Andrew would argue that, one of my friends would argue that figure skating, cheerleading, even competitive cheerleading is not a sport. Because he believes that if it is a judged-based competition, it is not a sport.
So like diving.
Yeah, so
It's
he's-
just
because to him, you're
you're
doing
on the
physical
whims
stuff.
of the
yeah,
judge.
Exactly. It's up to the judge. Whereas
Yeah.
something like football,
You don't decide.
that's just down
you-
to who's
yeah.
better.
Person,
You-
it should be like person versus person or team versus team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, th-
Like if cheerleaders, like if there was like a goal and a point system where like if there were like two squads of cheerleaders like facing off in like the sides of the arena and like they had like to do like cheerleading moves to get like a ball like
Or yeah, like in response to one another, right? Like their routines are completely separate from each other.
Yeah. I have a question kind of on this topic.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you guys think is the most impressive sport?
most impressive.
The
Yeah,
most
so like
impressive
watching it, like what they're
sport.
doing looks cool. What they do is difficult,
I will be
graceful.
honest with you. Contact juggling. Contact juggling to me is like the most amazing
Excuse me,
thing.
what?
Have you guys
juggling?
have you seen the movie The Labyrinth? The
No.
Labyrinth with
No.
David Bowie.
I have not.
Oh man, you guys are so young.
Contact
I'm
juggling.
gonna show you contact juggling.
You have to put this in the video.
I'll
so
I'll
everyone
put
at
this in
home
the video.
needs-
What's the timestamp? 54 minutes. Okay.
54 minutes contact juggling. We'll watch
Oh,
Well,
is it a
just
fake
quick-
sport?
It's not a fake sport. This is real, man. If you can do any of these things, I will give you $1,000.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I'll be able to sync up the audio.
Is it a sport in the way that like dances?
Yeah. Similarly, it's high control, high body control.
Yeah, so it's based off
You have to have a low error.
relative motion.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's like cardistry.
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
cool. So basically, in contact juggling, typically the juggler has like at least one, if not more, like completely smooth spherical balls, and he manipulates them to look like they move through space without him actually touching them. Though he touches them the whole time.
Yeah, it
just
looks like magic.
His movements are so fluid that it looks like the ball like stays still in the air as they juggle it.
Do you think they're slippery? Are
But-
they slippery?
Well, if they're
No.
perfectly smooth, no amount of friction can do anything to them. So the only way he can move it's by literally pushing it,
Yeah, so
by having perpendicular force. If they're perfectly smooth.
I mean, they're not perfectly smooth, but like
Yeah,
they're smooth.
I mean
Like,
it's theoretical. The perfectly smooth object is.
I mean,
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
can't tell if they're spinning or not.
and that's like part of
because they're
the
clear. There's
yeah.
no relative motion on the object to tell you that it's moving.
Oh my goodness.
But it's so impressive to me
That's like
because I watch it and I'm just like, never in a
That's like
million
how in a
years would I
plane-
be able to do that.
If you're flying in a plane and the clouds are moving at the same pace as you, and you're not moving
Oh, okay.
It seems yeah.
because it's relative to your perspective, and so it's relative motion.
But he is manipulating them.
Yeah,
like,
that's-
it's still difficult to do.
Yeah,
like,
his fingers are like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put it in.
What
You
about
guys
what
can
about
see it.
you? What do you think? Like before seeing this, if you think that this is it.
A really impressive sport to me is rugby
Okay.
because it's so physically demanding, and they hit each other like football,
But with no pads.
but there's less injuries for some reason.
Dude, oh my gosh. Okay, so when
Right?
I
Because
was,
like you watch a rugby match and they're like going at it. It's like wrestling and soccer and football.
yeah, they have no pads and there's almost no rules on how to hit people.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
when I was in France, literally it was female rugby, and literally a girl was hanging onto another girl's hair as she went in
oh my
to
goodness.
the end zone. I was like, what is going on?
TJ, are you looking up the Olympic sport where they ski and shoot?
No, I wasn't.
Oh,
I
that is a
biathlon.
cool-
Yeah, biathlon.
Biathlon. Is
That's a cool one to
something
watch.
I am very.
is cool.
This is probably like my second most impressive sport, is because I don't ski at all. Like I just
Oh, I
I
love
don't participate.
snowboarding.
I don't participate in winter sports.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
wrestled, so
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that
okay,
was
that makes
that
more
was a
sense.
big no during wrestling season. It's like
doing
don't go
anything else.
skiing,
Oh,
don't
break
go
your leg.
snowboarding. You will hurt yourself.
There was
like,
one
that's
person
inevitable.
on my high school ski team, and they always went to state because they're really good.
Yeah, we have
really
like
like
5
skiing.
kids who half of them go to state.
But yeah, like skiing around with a gun and they're like having to like do target practice in the middle of a race is
Yeah,
like
'cause they
also
go, like,
pretty.
They go like a
pretty
bunch of miles.
intense.
They're all like
Dude, their
And then-
rifles are really cool. I mean, they're optimized for
they're air rifles, right?
recoil control. No, they're 22s.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're optimized for recoil control, and
so it's an air rifle.
they're yeah, they're bolt action, but the bolt is in the thumb. There's a thumb paddle that they press, and it wrecks the bolt, and it's so cool.
That's cool.
I've always wanted to turn like.
Maybe I'll fight zombies with that when that happens.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
you could probably up the caliber and do the
a
same thing.
6.5 Creedmoor biathlon
Yeah.
rifle.
We'll talk to
Mine-
John.
That'd be a
about it.
heavy. That'd be a heavy thumb press.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, I mean, for me, I do mostly airsoft and not a lot of rifle shooting, especially not bolt rifles shooting. It's so weird to me because for me, I mean, I'm flexing my muscles as I'm pulling back because
Yeah.
there's a spring I have to rack. Whereas with, I mean, if
Do you
it's
have a you have a
good
bolt you have a bolt action airsoft gun?
Yeah, it broke recently.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean, bolt action snipers are the most common airsoft snipers because with gas, you slowly run out of gas, changing speeds and
is it spring
different
based?
things. And yeah, so a spring is the most constant version.
Okay.
And also, I mean, like you can have 800 feet per second with a spring.
Okay.
Like, there's no difference in performance other than
Is it
the
accurate?
consistency. Oh yeah, because what they do is they put little rubber things that's called the hop, and so there right now, as far as I know, 3 kinds. There's the normal kind, which is just this little round thing that has a screw and it kind of goes down and it puts spin on it. So
it's like a kind of rifling.
Yeah, it's like rifling without the rifling. Because if you shoot an airsoft pellet with rifling, it gets the turn and
it'll curve.
But
curve
the thing
the
is that if you set it just right, it makes it so that there's no, like when it's fired, it could turn in any direction, because it's just contact.
It's a circle hitting
something.
Air.
Yeah.
It's a chaotic system hitting another chaotic system.
Yeah, but if you put something that just one input and it makes it do this, then all of a sudden you have control for it to shoot straight. So now instead of it wanting to go down just because of gravity, because it can't cover distance as quickly as like a bullet can, it now has something also keeping it up in the air.
Okay.
So it does a double whammy. It keeps it more accurate and keeps it up in the air.
I want to get an airsoft sniper now.
And so then
it costs about as much as a 3D printer. So
more if you want to go.
I'm selling my 3D printer and buying
the best,
or maybe I'll just print one.
Print one.
There's 2 like supreme spring snipers on the airsoft market. The SRS A1 what is it? It's like silver wolf or something.
Yeah.
And that has the next kind of hop up I'm going to talk about, which is split hop up.
Okay.
So a lot of times what the problem is with just a normal hop up is it will have some kind of tendency to the right or some kind of tendency to the left. What a split hop up does is it allows you to control that. So if you know that your sniper has a tendency to shoot a little to the left, you can just turn the hop on the right a little bit more.
Okay.
And now it's shooting straight again.
Oh, okay.
And then the most common kind now is called an R hop. And basically it's just a more consistent hop. They've switched from just a little like nub, kind of like a Nerf
Is this
dart.
where's
They've
this
gone
nub?
from this,
is the nub on the ball?
So it's
or is it in the barrel?
No, it's in the barrel.
Okay.
So
that's what I was thinking. I just wasn't sure though.
So they've gone from something like this to now it's like a pad.
Oh.
And so it's just a more consistent. And what it does is like it's changed. So most sniper or just airsoft in general, most fall off. I mean, it looks like this. So it goes straight, and then the rotation's finely enough to get it to move, but just at the very end, and then it drops.
Okay, that's
so
interesting.
If a normal hop goes that far, an R hop will start its like up going over here.
Wow.
It adds at least 40 more meters of range.
Okay.
And I mean, a lot of airsoft guns, even good airsoft guns, don't have a hop. If you keep your barrel clean, you'll have at least 60 meters of accuracy.
Yeah.
If like my airsoft revolver I had, which was like Colt licensed Python 357.
Okay.
I mean, I would dome kids from 60 meters.
Wow.
Dome means to hit them in the head.
Yeah, I run like.
Wait, time out real quick. No, keep going, sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll talk to you guys about that later.
So I ran a riot shield like characters in Rainbow Six do. And I would shoot, I made it so that when you turn, it's usually like this, and you can turn it so that you can aim from here on the crate.
Yeah.
And I was just running one time, some kid, I heard click, 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 turned, saw a kid, and just went bink.
Bink.
It just hit him right in the head. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, I mean, it's a very evolved and complicated system.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
I mean,
It's intense.
There was like a month or two where like a bunch of these like professional airsoft videos were showing up in my YouTube recommended.
Was it Navrich?
I don't.
And Silo Entertainment.
I think I recognize Silo, but
yeah, the most popular kind of content on YouTube for airsoft is sniper content.
Okay.
Because it's generally the most skilled. It's the most interesting because from a sniper's perspective, you're seeing everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And you see the most of like the crazy stuff. But so Navrich is easily the most famous airsofter in the world. He's Polish, I think. And he has his own sniper rifle and pistol. So he has the Navrich SSR.
Okay.
Which is his sniper rifle he custom made and has produced, which comes stock at like 800 FPS.
Okay.
Yeah, SSG, my bad.
no worries.
Super gun.
Yeah, super sniper gun.
Yeah.
And then he also has the SSP and the
Okay.
SSX. SSP is his original pistol model that he did. The SSX is a long-range suppressed pistol system that now has a conversion kit for a carbine. Yeah, the SSX 303 that shoots with an upgraded system 900 FPS
Jeez.
with less than, I think it's like 12 joules of sound.
12 joules?
Or not joules.
Decibels?
Decibels.
I was like,
Wow.
joules
Whoa.
of sound. That's how
With
is
less
that
than
like
10.
There is.
10 decibels.
I'm sure you
Like-
can make a conversion.
the
like
amount
almost-
of energy that is pressed against your
Oh yeah, that's not. It's just
Ears.
what it's like. It's
12 newtons.
wavelength.
We do
and
newtons of sound.
Yada yada yada. But and
Newtons
so
to joules.
he's an immensely famous airsofter.
Yeah.
Has easily 5 million subscribers, if not more, on YouTube. Like he has a huge following, and like he's ex-military.
Academy.
And anyways, his sniper is the other most popular one,
Okay.
and it's impressive. I almost bought it, but then didn't because I didn't want to feel basic, which is when I found the SSR, not the SSR. The SRS
The
A1.
acronyms are off today.
Yeah. The SRS A1 Silverback,
Acronyms.
which is it's technically a competition rifle that's also used for military.
Okay.
It's used in a lot of for a lot of designated marksmen that don't want to just run a DMR conversion on their M4. So it's basically it's a bullpup sniper.
Yeah.
So with airsoft, that's really hard because the bolt, how the spring works, is that basically, the whole bolt is the spring.
Okay.
So there's only the chamber's only like actually this big. So when you pull it back, if the magazine's right here, the actual chamber's somewhere more like right here with a bullpup airsoft sniper. So you kind of gotta find a feeding system that works. But with the original model was that it was a push bolt. So there's two kinds of bolts. There's a pull bolt that racks the spring as you pull back,
Yeah.
and there's a bolt that racks it as you push forward.
So do you still pull it back and then push it forward on a push bolt?
You pull it back with no resistance. And once it gets all the way back, the spring sets, and then you push it forward to stretch it.
I feel like I like pole bolts.
Yeah, everyone likes pole bolts because here's the thing. With a push bolt, you have nothing you're anchoring it to.
Yeah, you're kind of just like, it's like pushing
So-
rope.
Only one video I've ever watched from a guy liked it, and it was the Swamp Sniper,
Yeah.
who's friends with Navrich, and he does a ton of really cool milsims. But because he had an angled grip that helped him retain traction, and then could push it forward.
Okay.
But the pole bolt, just because it's so close to you, they
Yeah.
didn't want to do it because right here's kind of where you start losing strength because of so much of it has kind of dissipated
Yeah.
from pulling like this to like, flexing like the last couple of inches. So it's, but of course with the second generation, they switched it to that. And I mean, most sniper barrels are only 20 inches.
Okay.
Because, I mean, if you have this long of a barrel, so there's a 20-inch barrel on top of your normal gun, that's a lot of weight because all this back half is nothing.
Okay.
Really. None of it's the barrel. You have usually like a whole 5 or 6 inches of the barrel that's spring and hop and chamber and all
So
this
just
stuff.
spreading out the weight is good.
Yeah. So with the SRS A1, I can have an 18-inch sniper where the barrel is the length of the body.
Okay.
So basically it just makes it really compact. So now all this wasted space is basically 4 inches in the back at the grip. Or at
that's
the
nice.
stock. So they sell, I think it's the maximum length is a 28-inch barrel.
Okay.
So it's the same length as a normal sniper would be, except for it has that 8 inches of extra room. This is one of his old videos. I remember.
Sorry,
I remember watching this.
I'm watching
younger.
airsoft videos.
They all have GoPros.
Boning
Dude,
up on my. It's been a long
Airsoft
time
is
since I played
probably
airsoft.
the coolest thing at the professional level. Like, I mean, people literally build.
I was just previewing a video where they go to a private island to like play like
Airsoft
game.
Island. Literally, guy bought an island for people to play airsoft on.
You know,
pretty cool.
when
And,
you're
like,
rich
they're-
enough to have humans hunt each other for sport.
There are boats with miniguns.
The most
attached.
dangerous game.
Yeah, the most dangerous game. And
The
like,
short story everybody read in high school.
Yeah.
in what it was like 2018, he has a video where he gets in a helicopter during the milsim, him and 4 of his sniper buddies, and they fly behind enemy lines to try and take down the enemy commander.
Oh my goodness.
And there are tanks,
I mean, it sounds like a
literal
blast.
tanks,
Yeah.
just without most of the armor plating because you can't get that.
Yeah.
And other vehicles, and the way that they do it is they do it on an infrared system.
Okay.
So a person with an RPG could take down a tank if they hit the infrared. Or a tank can destroy a Jeep if they hit its infrared system. Now,
So you don't have to
how it
launch
works
giant projectiles at each
Yeah,
other.
How it
Giant
works-
plastic ball.
is that there's there's like
They're like
some
kickball
windows and
balls.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a dude in the tank who's kicking him out.
Yeah. Typically, there's a guy, like the drivers can't get hit,
Yeah.
but all gunner positions are mostly exposed. So, like, there's a video where he gets to be the gunner of one of these Jeeps, like open-topped gun-mounted Jeeps with like a Halo-style 3-barrel rotary cannon on it.
Yeah.
And like he has that, and he has a Scorpion, and he's like they get ambushed while driving through the woods, and like things are just flying at him from everywhere, and it's a free rotating turret, and he's like shooting at people, and
my
he's got the
goodness.
Scorpion shooting over the other side, and like it gets really intense. There's a guy who has a full automated gun system
And it's
where he's got like how a lot of Humvees work nowadays is they have a screen system. So the gunner is no longer sitting on top like in a lot of things. He's sitting right behind the driver, and he has this screen display, and he doesn't even do half the shooting. There's a system in place that if a round goes off and it's not from around a friendly target, the gun will literally just turn around and start shooting at any heat signatures it sees.
oh
in the
my
area.
goodness.
That's
And it's
awful.
It's accurate to within like a foot on its first shot.
Jeez.
So, like, if somebody shoots a rocket, the person who shot the rocket will be dead before the rocket reaches
Oh,
caravan.
okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, the people will still probably get hit if it's an accurate shot, but I mean,
They'll take
it's
out the rocket
it's
guy.
An instantaneous. It like snaps around and starts firing. But there's also manual control for the guy in the cockpit. So there's 2 screens where he can view infrared, night vision, and normal.
Okay.
And he can switch between them, see 2 of them at a time. So most of the time, infrared is just to see like where other people are looking at, because all U.S. military weapons have an infrared laser on it. Just so that like in night ops and stuff where you're looking in infrared and night vision, everyone can see where everyone is aiming.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, it's like have you seen the Modern Warfare mission that's super popular where you're doing a breaking and entering in a house?
No.
Okay.
I'm a gaming hipster. I'm sorry.
in our military science class, we got shown that clip because it was the most accurate. It was almost exactly like how the real thing is supposed to be done.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And it was like, they were allowed to show us it because it's just a game. Like it wasn't the actual thing. But basically, I mean, you've got your laser. Most people don't even use their sights on an in-house operation, especially at night. They just have their laser.
Oh, of course, because it's so cramped, and the laser's accurate. I mean, guns are accurate. They're not like video games where it's like a circle of where you might hit.
I really want them to make a video game where every single like aiming thing is 100%. Modern Warfare is pretty accurate.
Dude, totally accurate Battlegrounds simulator.
But the
tabs.
the amount of damage that a single player can sustain is not very accurate.
Yeah, I mean everyone's the hero.
You can take
you
way
can take
too much
10
damage.
9mm to
You
the
got like
chest and be
Boromir
fine.
levels of health.
Yeah, you could take 10 9mm and be like, you're sneaking like Spike in in Cowboy Bebop. You haven't seen that.
I like how I said this was going to be a shorter episode. I was talking with TJ. We're about to go like record a canned service in case somebody gets like the Rona
Sick.
and we have to cancel church.
The Ronica.
But I was like, we'll do a shorter episode today. Last week's was like an hour and a half, and we're already at like an hour 20.
And we haven't even gone to what you want in technology.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll skip over
week.
that for now. Let's
Next
move
week.
on. How's everyone doing spiritually? How's it hanging? I know, Landon, you got the news last week that you're not going to return to school.
Yes, we talked about this a bit last week, but it's starting to hit me more now because now is the time where I would be packing.
Right.
And I would be,
It's like preparing to go down to school.
I'd be coordinating with my roommate, like, oh, are we going to get a fridge? Are we going to get a couch? Like, what's going on there?
Jack, were you able to make it to youth group this week at all? No?
Dang, dude.
It's starting to get really brutal, and we got another new employee.
That's good.
So
ask him to take your Wednesdays.
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 And so right now, I mean, I have to get this switched, but I'm scheduled for 10 to 3 this Sunday, even though I asked for no Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but basically, I mean, I'm just gonna check with my manager and be like, hey, can I start getting Wednesday afternoons, Thursday afternoons, and Sunday mornings just off.
Yeah, because you can still work 4 days a week.
Yeah, those are my only days that, I mean, even then, I can still work a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Just
work 10 to 2
7.
instead of,
Because, I mean,
working till close.
Normal shifts for me on the morning are just 10 to 3.
Yeah.
So on Wednesday, I can have plenty of time to go home and get ready.
Can I do a 10 to 3 on Wednesday, please?
Yeah.
I'll still work.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still working that day. I just need to work the one other time for the job I do that day.
Yeah.
And I already work, 4 days a week, and then I work here 2 days a week, Sunday morning and then Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
So
but you still.
I still get.
It's important to make it to that Wednesday night Bible study with your peers. I think especially moving into this next season where none of you guys are going to be at school and you're going to need.
Yeah, all the hot tea is going to be at youth group.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They should the only time you guys are going to be able to hang out.
That's the only time I see my friends.
They should make youth group longer. They should make it from 6 to 9.
I think that would be a great idea.
And have more hangout time.
Yeah.
Why are you winking at me?
I'm serious. I know.
Because you know the people that are in charge of that.
Yes,
better
I'll
than
talk
I
to
do.
him.
So I would
I'm sure he is not going to want that.
influence them.
And I
as
actually
best
think
you
my sister
can.
would be kind of on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they have some other things planned. You know, they want to do like a weekly breakfast get together where like you actually come and eat breakfast together, like as a youth group. And,
Back in the good old days, we did that for 9 months.
yeah, so
Wow.
they want to bring back the Breakfast Club. So I know that there's some other things that they want to do, especially because everyone not having to go back to school actually affords them a lot of freedom to like when they can plan and do things, which is going to be cool. Yeah.
What about you, TJ? Are you settling into the new house?
I am settling into the new house. I did not get fully unpacked like I had hoped, but that's okay. I mean, we'll be there for a while. We just bought it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know. And I had to like keep reminding myself that. It's just like, I've only been here for like 10 days. I've lived here for 10 days. Like, don't.
Yeah.
Not everything needs to be exactly how
It's like
I want
such
it
a
to be
small
on day
percentage.
10 of living
Yeah.
there. Yeah. And so, but I did take out some of the kitchen cabinets this last week and put up shelving because that's what my wife wanted. She was just like, this is no. This is like,
I prefer open storage
Yeah,
to closed storage.
so that's really cool. I still have a lot of like cutting and staining and stuff I need to do for that. But yeah, other than that, things have been good. Just, you know, practicing for this daily devotional stuff that we got going on. I'm sure you'll hear more about that. Big announcement. If you're watching this, announcement on August 30th. Make sure that you're tuned in to the live stream.
Or is it us?
Anyone.
Anybody can.
Yeah.
Anyone
Because
can.
anybody can be.
Where are you going with this?
I'm just trying not to spoil anything.
Because Jesus loves everybody.
Because Jesus loves it. There you go.
Jesus loves everybody.
And
we love
I think
everybody.
that I'm experiencing that more. I was really blessed by this last week's picnic. It was really cool to like hang out with our church family and like just talk. I especially appreciated it because there were no computers there. I was not in charge of anything. I didn't have. Like,
I wish I could have gone.
It was.
yeah, I wish you could have been there too.
It was
Jack.
good to see my friend get baptized.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it's important that people, you know, make that decision, step up to be accountable for their faith, especially within their peer group. So it's really cool that he decided to do that. Yeah, it was just like a good time. It was fun. I especially liked like all the kids playing and stuff during the baptisms. I thought that was really like. So Jack, you weren't there, but like Dustin was like trying to baptize people, and there were like all these kids like in the river, just like goofing around and like splashing and yelling at each other and stuff. It just makes me think. It's just like, yes, this is exactly what it was like when Jesus got baptized.
Totally, yeah.
People like doing laundry and like yelling at their kids and like trying to make food and stuff. Yeah. And you know, John the Baptist is just like this is the person we've been waiting for. Yeah, exactly. And like, and so it's kind of like that, where it's just like, yeah, this very like sacred thing, but like life is still just going on around it. And you know, I don't think that God frowns upon stuff like that. He's not like, you should ask those kids to be quiet.
Well, yeah.
It's just like, what are we gonna do? They're kids.
Children.
Yeah, it's like, let them enjoy the day and the river and everything on top of, you know, we can get baptized still. So yeah, it was really cool. Really feeling blessed right now.
Pretty poggers.
Yeah.
In my life.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, before we close out, last service, how did we do, guys?
I thought it went really smoothly.
This was our first service with Pro Presenter.
It was,
7.
yeah.
Pro Presenter 7.
I almost cried of joy, actually.
Yeah, I loved it.
Holy cow! I can actually now look at what you did and be like, yeah, I can do that again.
That makes sense.
It's smooth. It's 64-bit instead of 32-bit. So it's
before you would do something and be
50
like, okay, this is how you do it. And I'd be like, oh, this is going to be hard to remember.
literally dragging from the library in Purpose Center 6, it was like, okay, if you want to drag something from the library into the current playlist, you have to actually, you can't drag it right away because that freaks out because it's so slow. You click and you hold it for 2 seconds until the computer registers that you want to select it and it's highlighted, and then you can drag it into where you want to go.
Yeah.
But now, because it's actually optimized for Windows and isn't just like a port of a Mac program, you can actually like drag and use it how you would use a normal program, and it works.
And it's great. We love it so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have,
right now.
that thing with Doug.
Oh, there was one
yes,
hiccup.
yes.
Just one slight little hiccup this last service. If you were there, you probably noticed our worship leader during the second song of the service invited everyone to stand up and sing with him this awesome hymn. It's an older one.
A mighty fortress is our God.
Yeah, a mighty fortress is our God.
A great modern version that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Like
issue
from
being
Every
that we as a church have decided, we as the church leadership decided, hey, we probably don't want everyone singing their germs onto everyone all the time. Let's try to reduce the number of songs that we're singing. And so we have set that the first 2 songs of the service, we are going to not ask people to stand and sing. And we won't even put the lyrics up in the sanctuary for people to kind of be able to follow along, just as a way to kind of just invite them only to listen to those songs and kind of think about them. It's great, but maybe we don't sing those out loud to kind of just reduce the number of songs that we sing during a service.
However, Doug asked for the words to it so that everyone could sing it, because it's a hymn. And in traditional hymn style, nothing is repeated. It's just the same musical structure with different words every time.
There's a chorus in this version.
Yeah, which wasn't in the one that we downloaded. I had to add that. Yeah. But he asked for the slides and even said, we're breaking the rules. Let's do it. And I
didn't hear that part.
Yeah, he's like, all right, how about we break the rules? Everybody stand up and let's sing together. And I was kind of like, what? The slides were all there already, but
which is fine. We do run slides, but only for the worship team.
It was just our decision in the back.
And that's something nobody gets.
We have the ability to determine whether or not we want to send video feed from the slides computer up to the projectors.
And I was trying.
And we chose not to turn it on.
Yeah. And
based off of the rule and not off of the what the worship leader said on stage.
Yeah.
I realize now we probably should have changed it because
it wasn't that much of a hiccup.
Dustin was glad that we didn't.
Yeah,
if we did, we would just be enabling.
Well, we don't want to change the rules every week on people. Is the thing.
Yeah.
The consistency is important.
Yeah.
While I value Doug's effort.
Yeah.
And the fact that I too want everyone to stand and sing praises to our God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not anti that in any facet.
We're here
However,
for a reason.
we need to make sure that we're facilitating people being safe, and I think that's a huge reason why people have continued to feel safe while they're at our church, especially people who might be at risk of catching something from one another. They feel like, hey, I know I'm not getting germs coughed up all on me.
Exactly.
95% of the service.
We have a great system, and it works best when you follow the system.
Yeah.
So
it's resolved. We understand. Hey, next time we know that there's a song that we want to sing for sure.
Did that come up during session?
I don't think it came up during session.
Yeah.
They don't bother with stuff, little ticky-tacky things like that.
As trivial as
that's
everything's it's pretty much been every all the systems and the rules are changing on a weekly basis, so it's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
But we'll just take it as it goes,
That.
and we'll try to make it. Our job is to make the worship experience as smooth as possible
Yeah,
for the congregation
and online as well.
through the use of technology.
Part of the reason why we didn't turn them on as well is that people online can still get them. So I was
Yes.
not very concerned about.
Yeah.
All right, do we want this episode to be exactly an hour and a half to the second?
Let's do it.
Done.
No,
Count us down.
because we waited. All right.
Oh.
Oh.
So let's do it. We probably actually have another minute.
Oh,
Because
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because of
one
the
minute we
whole-
can close
The
out.
little bit we recorded
Yeah.
before.
I hope
All
you guys
my failed attempts.
Yeah,
shooting the screen.
I'm sure you guys will enjoy this episode. If you did, leave us a like or a comment. Share it with some friends.
Subscribe.
And we look forward to seeing you next time on Tuba Talk. Not so normal discussion. Take care, guys. Bye.
See